Hello, welcome. We are going to work on a new character. This is my very first revenge for Art Fight. I'm really excited that somebody attacked me. It's the very first attack that I've gotten. The art was super cool. I was very excited. It's the first time I've ever had somebody else draw any of my characters. So that was really neat. It felt really cool to have somebody else spend their time and their effort making art of one of my characters. So I'm actually really excited about doing this revenge. Um, so I'm going to show you. This is the character. There's a few different images, but it seemed like this was kind of the best reference image for what we're going for. So we've got the kind of purple skin. We've got the horns. As you can see, I've put the horns on already because I knew I was going to have to mess with them, and I didn't feel like doing that on screen, I guess. I don't know. There's going to be some parts I'm going to cut out because there's a lot in the character creation process. There's a lot of fiddling, and so I haven't uploaded a few of the videos I've actually done of creating characters because of the fact that I'm like, this is boring to watch. You're just sitting there watching me mess with dials and things like that. So I am going to cut a lot of that out, or try to anyway. I apologize if there's anything that I leave in and you find it really boring. But anyways, so this is the character that we're making. So we've got the purple skin. It says they have black hair and eyes. So we'll be doing that. I just got hiccups all of a sudden. I apologize. They'll stop in a moment. We've got the tiefling tail, although that is likely not going to show up in my art, so I don't think that I will be doing that part. Um, I can, I just don't need to. Unless I decide to do a full body image. I actually haven't figured out what art I'm doing yet, so we'll see. If we need to add the tiefling tail, we will. Um, so we're gonna have a grouchy uh, look to his face, which I love. Love me a moody character. And the clothing I think is gonna be fun. Looks like they don't have a specific outfit on, so we don't need to try to match a specific outfit, which is always good when we're doing these 3D renders and we're using pre-made assets. So, and then we've got some earrings. Hopefully I do better with the earrings than I did last time. I may actually go and either look for some free earrings or buy like a cheap pack of them, uh, because I can't find them. Or I'll look in a different. So I was looking in my Genesis 9 folder, but there may be some like Genesis 8 earrings that I can use and just didn't last time. But yeah, we'll hopefully have an easier time with that. So I found the horns that are the best. Again, these aren't commissions, so I don't go in and do like Blender modeling. But it looks like there were a few different images of this character, and the horns look a little different in each of them. So I'm not feeling too bad about the fact that the horns are not exactly as they look. Also, they look yellow here, but in the render, they are black. I made them black. Uh, and by to do that, I just went in here. So this is the base color that just comes with the horns, as you can see down here. This image is covering this, but that's fine. Um, and then so I that's what the base color is. I went in and I made that black, and then that only made it partially black. So then I went in and I changed the metallic flakes cover. That's what's or color, and that's what's coating this is a black metallic flakes, which also is giving this a bit of extra shine. As you can see, you can kind of see the metallicity. So, um, yeah, and I'm thinking, let me look at the actual page because I'm realizing that his horns are not black. His horns are the same color as the skin, and I'm realizing they may be meant to. I can't tell if they're meant to be part of his skin because some of the images, like I said, the images all look a little bit different. And some of them, like this one that I'm showing, look like they're straight, from his head, same color. But other ones do not look that way. So you know what? We're gonna change these. For some reason, I thought they were black. Um, I don't know what color his skin's gonna be, so this is just gonna be temporary. It's just gonna be uh, while we're working. Let's do that purple. See, it gives it that nice metallic shine. I may actually have to go in and recolor this. We'll see if I can just do it with dials, but sometimes you can't, so I may have to take it into Photoshop. And if I have to, I will. It's easier to take something into Photoshop than it is to take it into Blender. Alright, so we'll try adding some top coat, but that really didn't do anything. So I think we may have to... Okay, that made it purple. I changed this to the normal map, which is what gives this its bumpy texture. And just because this is purple. It's not supposed to be used as a base color, but it is purple. And then we'll just copy the selected surfaces. We'll go here and paste, and now we've got 2 purple horns. I will have to, this is again just going to be the stand-in. It's not really the same color as his skin here. That's more of a like purple pink color. We've got the actual colors here that we can use, so these will be honed later, but for now that is what I want to use. So I'm just going to leave this image up. I can't really see it, but you guys can while I work on honing it, and then I can look over at my OBS, my recording window, and kind of see it there. And then I'll pull it up every once in a while as we are shaping his face. I may use a different image when I'm actually doing his face, since they do have, like I said, a few different images, and this one is kind of a simple face. So anyway, we're going to get started. As usual, I have implemented my Take One lighting here, so it's not default lighting anymore. As you can see, this is the base Genesis 9 model. So that's what we're going to start with. It's just this base model. Actually, let me take these off for just a second, because I will use this still in the... let me... Okay, I'll use this still in the thumbnail for the video next to the actual finished product. Or maybe I should do something closer so you can really see. Okay. So let's pull this back up. And let's get to work. Let's make this character. Let's turn this from a porcelain, empty-faced, empty-eyed model into a person, a fantasy person. So you can't see everything I'm doing because I'm doing it up here. And part of that's on purpose. It's not the end of the world if you see what I have, and I've shown it in other videos, but I realized I don't necessarily want people to see everything I have, and so having the picture up, you guys can see what we're going for the whole time, and I also get to hide some of what I'm doing over here. So I'm not going to make you guys watch as I go through and pick out a character, so I will be right back. Alright, so here's what we do when we're working from the very, very base model, is we're going to go into shaping, and we're going to go into head. And I'm going to type in the head that I chose. Now I'm going to do some customization to this. In fact, I'm going to do a lot of customization, and I'm not going to only use this character because I don't put out any characters that look exactly like a base model. So I never leave a head dialed up to 100, or if I do a lot of customization to the face. So even though the head is dialed up to 100% of a certain model, I am still changing the face quite a bit. So you're never going to look at a character that I make and be able to hold that up to like a Daz model that you can buy from the shop and be like, ah, yes, these two look exactly the same. The only exception to that is one, possibilities of my own characters, because I see characters in Daz sometimes and I go, oh, that character really inspires me. Love that character. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to use it as it is. So occasionally I might do that. It's extremely rare that I won't alter it in some way, but that's a possibility. The second possibility is if I get a commission and they say, hey, I saw this character in the Daz shop and that is the character that I want to use. And then if I have that character, then that's cool and I will just do that. If I don't have that character, I go 50-50 with the person to buy the character. So, and I do 50-50 because 50% of it is on them because I wouldn't likely have bought it myself. And the other 50 is because I get to own that now. Once they buy it, it's in my library and I can then use that character as a base or use their skin or whatever. I have that in my library for the rest of time. So I will do 50% because I get the benefit out of it and they get the character. So anyway, I wanted to explain that because I am trying to get more commissions, and so if people are watching this, I want you to know how that would work. And okay, so that was one. The second I'm going to use, and I'm going to dial these in a bit. So this is going to look really weird for a minute. Second I'm going to use, it's actually a female face, but she's got some cool features, and she's got some really nice cheekbones, and so she's going to add some cool effects to this face. And he, in another image, has kind of high, neat looking cheekbones and kind of some definition to his jaw and stuff that you can't see in the image that I have up here. But he does have that, so I'm pulling those from her face because they are good. And then I'm going to use Thalius. Now, this face looks stupid. But what I'm going to do is go here to my currently used and turn this to texture shaded. And then we're going to dial these back. So the main look that I'm going for is this Anthony look. So I'm going to put him at 60. We'll leave the HD details because that just adds some HD details to the face. So that doesn't matter. I am going to do 40 Thalius. I'm going to do 20. I don't want this to look too feminine. And it's kind of looking pretty feminine right now. But once we put skin on, that will help. But we do have the nice jawline and the nice cheekbones. It is definitely looking feminine, and I did choose two guys that were kind of pretty. Thalius especially is pretty. I wonder if I take down the masculine head. Okay, that just makes it look more feminine. All right, that gives us a much more masculine look by just dialing up this base masculine head. All right, so I am gonna go choose some skin and put some skin on this guy. Okay, I didn't think I actually had any models that had purple skin, but I do. So now it's not very dark purple, but if we start with purple, we can easily alter it. If I couldn't find one that did have purple, I would take it into Photoshop and just make it. But it looks like I have something, so let's see how this looks as we put it on. All right. Face. Okay, don't mind the eyes. We're gonna change the eyes because he has black eyes. But this is a vampire skin, so I forgot we need to change the body as well. But that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all, actually. That gives us a really nice base to work with, and so we can go in here. We're on Genesis 9, skin, and I just highlight nails. I can't remember what surfaces is. Actually, I'm going to leave surfaces alone for a minute. What do they have going on with the nails? Oh, they just have them black. I wonder what his nails are. Maybe they are black. Okay. So usually I like to do some modeling with the face, and I might change a couple things. But honestly, and I may have to grab this other image that you guys can see that I'm kind of basing the face off of. But I actually don't think that as it is that it's too far off, especially because there are multiple images and there isn't like a super like really defined look for his features like there is for, let's say, Stirth, which I did in the last video. So I spent a lot of time like working on Stirth's nose and stuff like that because there was a really distinct look. But this character seems to have more of an ambiguous look, so I think we can kind of play around with what he looks like and it's not quite as strict. So, go to skin. So the base color is just white, so we're just gonna add some purple. And look at that, just doing that alone really kind of got us a good way there. Still not as purple as I'd like it, but I do like this particularly kind of gray purple. So it's not doing as much as I would like. Let's see. Okay, that is too much, but it is in the right direction. Okay, that is in the wrong direction. That's a little bit better. But I want it less intense. What if I this white? Okay. So if we keep this translucency color, but make this lighter. Just bring this down a bit. Oh, you guys can't see. I'm messing with the color thing. I wish this would just show all of the windows, but actually, let me see. Okay, I was trying to see if there was a different mode that I could show that would better damage or allow you guys to see the little pop-up windows that I have for like when I'm selecting a color, but there does not appear to be that. Okay, so this I think that's where we want to be. It's not quite as pink as this one, but here let me grab this other image so that I can lit up. And so here's the other image that we're working with. And so this is probably the one I should keep up. This is kind of really what I'm basing this off of. But this one is a little more pink too. So we're gonna dial this over. Again, you can't see it, but I am moving the colors over to make him a little pinker. All right, there we go. That's a pretty close match for something realistic versus for something realistic here versus a drawing over here. They made his eyes green, but the reference sheet says it's. I'm pretty sure this is either art that they commissioned or art that they maybe got in a different art fight attack. So, but the reference sheet says that his eyes are black. So we are going to attempt to find some black eyes. And I'm, again, gonna grab those. All right, these aren't quite as black as I would like, so I may go in and find other eyes that I like better at a different time, but they're good stand-ins for the moment. We throw these horns back on. Let's fix these colors. So move it here, a little pink. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work because I think I'm going to have to go and actually make these in Photoshop. All right, let's just go back for the moment to black for these so that it just doesn't look silly. All right. Do we have brows? We have black brows. And I'm going to do this lazy way. I'm sure that these come with materials that will make them black, but here we go. We made them black. All right, so we've got a pretty good beginning here. Let's give him these ears. All right, so there's a couple different styles of ears that I'm seeing. I think that they had different, I think these may be, each of these images may be from different artists. So we have some flexibility. I am going to mix. I'm going to mix this shape, which is in some of the images, with this shape. Or maybe not, because that's taking away from the sharpness. Oh, you know what? That I don't like that elf shape. But this one, I'm gonna pull this down, and we're gonna make this go 40%. Okay, I think those are pretty good. Just again, this is a mix of this drawing that you're looking at plus other drawings like that one, where you can see that his ears stick out a lot more. So we are going to just kind of mix the two. I might even not do quite as much of that. There we go. I think that's a good compromise. So I think we're good on color, we're good on ears. The horns are not going to be that color, but I think that they look as close as I'm gonna get here. And again, it seems like I have some leeway, hopefully. And if I don't, there's not a lot I can do about it because I am limited again without going into Blender myself to make the horns or to modify existing horns that I own. So yeah, so we're gonna stick with these. Hopefully they will be okay. Also, these ones that he has in this particular picture are a lot different than the ones he has here, and they're different than ones he has in other pictures, but you can see the ones in this one are so much bigger than the ones in this one. So I'm kind of going off of the size of the ones in this one, but kind of the texture of the ones in this one. And the exact shape of neither. But it's gonna have to be good enough. Again, they seem to have a lot of variation between their different images for their characters. So, all right, let's give him a masculine body. Actually, let's save, and then let's go in and give him full body fitness detail. Well, actually, we need to do masculine first. Skip in. Body shape masculine. Oh, I must have. I don't usually make my characters from the base models. I usually start with something. So let's see what we have for the body. We don't have anything being used. So why am I having a hard time? All right, let's turn this here so we can just see the body. Masculine full body. So the body shape masculine. I mean, it just does make it more masculine, but those breastises are still pretty prominent. Let's try body masculine, muscular. It looks like there's like chest dialed, but it doesn't show in currently. You know what? I'm gonna not even do it that way. I am going to go and grab a masculine character that just has a body, and I'm gonna put the body on. I don't really like that body. Oof. All right, let's take off that body. This character does not look like he is particularly jacked. So maybe I go with somebody who's not quite as masculine. Well, not quite as masculine, just not quite as jacked. All right. All these guys are huge. Okay, this one should work. Where is this one? My low body. Okay, take that off. Yeah, this should be better. Okay. Not quite as thick at all. That's much better. Okie dokie. Okay, so we've got a body, we've got a face. Is our face looking, because it's still kind of looking kind of feminine in the preview, but oh, I'd say it's looking fairly masculine there. All right, let me see. So again, this hair doesn't look like any of the hair that they said that they use for him. So I'm gonna go with what the reference says, which is that he likes a half up, half down hairstyle. And I am gonna see. Hopefully, I have something like that. Okay, perfect. We did. This is the FE Arcadius hair or Arcadius. It's probably Arcadius um, hair. So it's half up. I'm hoping that we have some dials to make it a little less long, but we'll see. So we have some adjustments. We have some low. Hair shorter front, hair shorter back. That's what I want. Hair shorter front. The tail shorter. All right. And then obviously he does not have blonde hair. So we will go in and make his hair not blonde. Perfect. It's kind of a blue-black, which I think suits his face or his body well. Let's see what actual black looks like. Yeah, no, that's better. That is better. Alright, I may need to, now that I'm looking at stuff coming together, I may need to take off this Ionera, or take this down. I really like her sharp cheekbones. No, I don't want to take those off. So what I may need to do is just add some more of a masculine face. Because he is looking too pretty, especially for that hair. That's actually not that far off from what the image looks like, and that gave us the nose that I was going to design. Look at that. That actually got us like way closer to that somehow. So, yeah, I think I'm actually going to leave his face just like that. So as you can tell, because we mixed a bunch of faces, even though I didn't actually go in and do a bunch of fine tuning to each of his features, which I can do, I can go in here and I have way too many packs for fine tuning the details of faces you can see there. And I have that because that is something that I do a lot. But in this case, I think that we managed to get spot on pretty much with the image. So yeah. And actually, I thought the eyes weren't dark enough, but I'm looking at some of the art other than this one. And it kind of has like gray black eyes as opposed to black eyes. So I think we're actually okay on the eye color. I might make the irises a little bigger though, because he is fantasy. So eye size, iris, large. Yep, perfect. Actually, that might be a little too big. But there we go. Okay. Let's go into Photoshop and see what we can do about these horns. Okay, so here we are. And we're in Photoshop. Sorry, bear with me for a moment. I just took a little screenshot there. Oh, that's not even correct. Bear with me for a moment. So I think my dog is needing to go out because I tried to take him out a couple hours ago, and it is our state, what you call it? Like, holiday, our state birthday. I don't know why I can't think of what it's called because I just keep thinking our state Independence Day, and that's not what it's called. We call it Pioneer Day here, which is dumb, but I'm in Utah, and has to do with the Mormon pioneers, so that's why it's called that. But anyway, so people were doing fireworks, and so I tried to take him out, and of course, as soon as I took him out, not only one but two people really close to us decided it was the perfect time. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So I took him out. I think actually I tried to take him out at 11:30, and that's when they decided it was time to set off all their fireworks. And so he got really scared, and he doesn't even have a hard time with fireworks in general. But when you're outside and they're really close and they're really loud, it startled me too. So he got startled, and then he didn't even want to pee. So I'm probably gonna take him out here in a minute. Not that you guys will know, because you guys will. It won't be a minute for you. Okay, so we're gonna call this horns purple. Not that you can see that, but so we just colored them in. We're gonna see how they look. Let's go back to the studio and put this on. Orange purple. See how it looks. See how that looks like. I watch some Europeans, like some European artists, and they constantly say that. They'll be like, we'll see how this looks like. And we'll keep the metallic flakes. It's a little pink. A little pink. So let's color wheel. The opposite of red is green. And so the opposite of pink is going to be light green. So give this a little bit of green to try to take down that pink. And that is working. That was working really, really well. Something between those two values there. All right. I think that's actually good. So let's just go ahead and copy that and paste it here. There we go. So I think that actually looks really good. Now I wonder if I can get rid of these bangs. I don't know if there's a dial for it. Bangs hide. Yep. There is indeed a dial for it. That's perfect. I think, so he has some scars. You can't see them in this image, but you can see them in this image. So if you look at this one, see up here and right here. Not very well, because it's not very big. Let's see if I can zoom in a little. So here, you can see that he's got this, they call it, what did they call it? Lichtenberg scar. I don't even know what that is, but maybe other people do. But yeah, they call this a Lichtenberg scar right here, and then I think a normal scar right here. So we will add those. But we're not going to do it here. We're going to do it in Photoshop because it's easier. I know how to add scars in Daz, and if I was going to be constantly making this character over and over again and doing a bunch of art with him, then I would do it in Daz and I would make it an actual part of his model. But since I'm probably going to do one piece of art for this character ever, then, you know, not really worth the time and effort. So let me switch this back. Actually, let me just close this, because we already saw the inspiration. I think we pretty much got the face. He's still a little pretty, but then again, the original is a little pretty too, so let's get some earrings. I'm gonna try to find some and be right back. All right, so we have this earring that's in his forehead because I don't own Genesis 9, which is the model type he is. I don't own earrings that look like, or that are just round hoops. I don't have round hoop earrings, and I didn't feel like going and trying to find like free ones or going and buying some. So I'm just using these ones that I have for Genesis 8 model. And we're just gonna, that's why they're not on here correctly. That's why they loaded in the middle of his forehead. So we're just gonna have to manually Sorry, I have hiccups. I get them a lot when I'm talking while recording. It's very annoying, but they don't last very long. Anyways, so we're gonna have to manually position them, which is, that's fine, whatever. It's a little bit tedious, but so the first one he has is basically like right here. Through his ear so I could see where it was at. Okay. I think it's like all the way up here. Rotate it a little. Is that I okay. And also I use the lip ring because I did. I don't know. I don't know why. All right, I don't know that he has specific earrings. I think he just has earrings. So we're just gonna kind of have fun with it, actually. He might even have some studs or something, so... Yeah, I didn't grab these ones because they're really small. And I can size them up, but... I don't know. Maybe we'll just put a small one on. Shit, let me see if I have others. Alright, so I grabbed some different ones that I like more. Try to find them. Yeah, these ones are a lot bigger. Possibly too big, but they'll be much more noticeable. I don't think I can grab this and move it. I thought there was a way. That here? Yeah, I thought there was a tool that would let you, but it's been a minute since I've used as. So, there we go. There we go. I was like, am I misremembering? I doubt you're going to be able to see both sides of his head, but I don't know what I'm doing yet, so maybe you will. I have no idea what art I want to do for him. This is actually the first time. For the other characters I've done so far, I have had an idea. But then again, I have done all attacks so far, which means I have picked characters and then made stuff for those characters specifically. Whereas this is a response to somebody making art of my characters, so I didn't specifically choose this character with and go, oh yeah, they, inspired me and I want to make this art of them. Not that I don't like him. I do like him a lot. Just don't have something in mind yet. But I am sure we will do something, well, hopefully. I've been really proud of the art I've been making for Art Fight, and it has not really been getting much of a reception. And I don't know if that's because I'm posting it in places that where digital art like this isn't typically done, so people are like, eh, or if it's not as good as I think it is. Which, I mean, very possible. Just because you think that your art is good doesn't mean that other people will. Um, so, very possible that I am just unaware of how my art is coming across. I'm not sure. Where did this one show up? I'm not seeing it at all. It's saying it's right there, but it is not. I should just not try to duplicate it. Maybe I just load. I don't know why I loaded the left one. I loaded the right one and then I loaded the left for the... Oh no, that's correct. Don't mind me. I know my right from left. Definitely. Okay, why am I not? Why am I losing this? Oh, you know what? I didn't have him selected. I'll bet you that's why. Let's hope that's why, because if it's not, I don't know how to this. Okay, good. Good, good, good. So we will give him these hoop earrings, and then we're gonna give him another of those earrings. Ooh, this one is like almost already in place. Got lucky there. I hope these are already parented correctly. Yeah, they are. And then what scale did I put that at? 79. So we'll do... Alrighty. His eyes there are brown. Those are not black. So I will have to find different eyes, because that's going to bug me. Alright, and then let's just... see if we can duplicate this one correctly. Duplicate node hierarchies. Alright, yeah, there we go. Honestly, I could just kind of leave it like that. Ooh, not do that. Realize I didn't have that selected. Okay. Look at that, that's pretty hot. Kind of wish he had like a lip piercing or an eyebrow piercing or something. I want to make him look more alternative. But it's not my character. I don't see... think I see any other piercings in any of these. Just different earrings. So, we'll save again. And let me see if I can find some blacker eyes. Okay, I'm sure that I have some like proper black eyes somewhere, but I got tired of looking. Found these. I like them. They don't have the brown undertone, and I can just darken them in Photoshop. So we're gonna do that. Also, I was thinking, I was like, for the art, maybe what I should do is make like a really hyper realistic close up, because I haven't really done that for the art fight yet. I've done a lot of kind of, I don't know, fun pose art drawing looking style. I don't know. But not hyper realistic. So I was like, maybe we'll do hyper realistic for this guy, because I do like hyper realistic. But then I realized he has scars I need to draw on, and I am not good enough at drawing scars to try and do hyper realistic drawn on scars. I am... plus I'm going to be doing it with my mouse because I'm lazy and I don't want to pull out my drawing pad, because I have to hook it up to a bunch of cords I don't keep out. So then I have to pull out all the cords, gotta plug them in, gotta unplug other things because I don't have enough USB ports, and it's just a mess. So we're not gonna do hyper realistic, but we'll do something fun. I just don't know what yet. All right, so we gave him eyes. We're gonna draw in. I think. Oh, I wanted to remove the metallic flakes from his horns because I think they're too much. I do like them, but I just think they're too sparkly. So we're gonna take them off. Sad. But I think it still looks good. So yeah, I believe that we are done with the character creation of this character. Everything else is going to be done in post-work in Photoshop. So join me in the next video if you want to see the art that we decide to do with this character. So thank you so much for being here. If you watched especially to the end, then I would love if you would drop a like, comment, just let me know that you watch these. Not a lot of people do watch them, and so I would appreciate it. All right, thank you so much for being here. Have a great one. Goodbye.